Today's video is a bit of a different one. If you're someone who's right in the thick of things right now in 2023, you're going through problems, you're trying to, start your business, grow your business, scale your business, you're running into resistance, some things are working, some things are breaking, this is the video for you. Fair warning, you may get triggered. This is a personal experience that I'm about to share with you. About 5-6 years ago, I've hired my first body recomp coach, Jerry Ward, rest in peace. I love the guy. I hired Jerry to get me into competition shape, to sort of trim down, lean down, lose all the weight. I learned a lot from him. And so back then, I was growing my third business. My company, Mundipharma, we grew it to $1 million in 1 year. I was in the middle of that. I was living in 2 countries, essentially shuttling back and forth between about 4 or 5 countries all the time. And I was recomping, which means I was working out and I was watching my diet. And I was busy from morning to evening in meetings, getting things done. I was running on steam and coffee and just pure motivation. And as we know, motivation doesn't last long. And so one day at 2 o'clock in the night, after finishing my workout, after being in meetings from 7 o'clock in the morning till about 11 o'clock in the evening, then going and working out, then sending Jerry my back then we used to use email. I told him, Jerry, look, this is not working out. I'm too busy right now. There's too many things happening right now. Perhaps we should call it a day. We should take a couple of months off. There's just too many things on my plate. I can't do this. Jerry writes back to me saying, Yahya, you're a coward. I was like, what? What do you mean I'm a coward? He's like, you're a coward. You don't have it in you to do what it takes. I was like, Jerry, excuse me. You have no clue what it is to be me. You're a guy who works out of home. I don't know if he had a job or not, but he essentially was an entrepreneur. He did online coaching and training. I was like, you're a guy who works out of home. I'm a 9-to-5er. I have responsibilities, I have duties. I'm in charge of 2 entire countries. There's tons of people whose livelihoods depend on me, and I have my own family, and I'm growing a business with crazy targets, and I'm dieting down, and I'm working out. I've reached my breaking point. You have no clue. You cannot relate. He's like, yeah, man. Yeah, that's the first thing cowards say. You're not gonna understand. I was like, what the hell? What is wrong with this guy? Like, I got triggered and I got offended and I huffed and I puffed and we finished. I hung up. I went to bed in rage, right? The next day I woke up. I reconnected with him. And I was like, look, I don't think this is working out. I don't think you're getting it, this, that, and the other. He's like, listen, man, I'm just going to ask you a simple question. You told me you wanted to get in this shape by this time. Did you mean it or were you lying? I was like, no, I meant it. He said, well, then if you meant it, and you're backing off now, then you're a coward because you don't want it bad enough. And that gave me a very different perspective. I was like, no, I do want it bad enough. It's just that the situation, I was like, dude, don't tell me about situations. He's worked with IFBB Pro, like pro level men and women in contest shape. He's like, everybody goes through them. Everybody has families. Everybody has commitment. I may not have it, but everybody else I work with has a day job. They have families. They have commitments. They have a lot of stuff they have to do. And yet they find the time and they find the effort and they find the resolve, the fortitude in them to push through. You don't. You don't have it. I was like, no, I have it. Well, he's like, if you have it, then that makes you even more of a coward because you just don't want it bad enough. Long story short, I was like because he triggered me and the person I was like, all right, I'm going to die trying, but I'm going to get into shape. And I got into shape. Best shape of my life. Single digit body fat, this, that, and the other. Did a whole photo shoot. I'll put it up for you guys if you're interested. Now, what's happening? The reason I'm telling you this is for the last, 2 or 3 years, I haven't taken a single holiday. I mean, there have been government holidays and I've traveled this, that, and the other, but I haven't gone on holiday. I haven't gone on vacation because I took what Jerry gave me and I applied it across the board into my entire life. I applied it to my business philosophy. I applied it to my word. Every time I give someone my word is my bond. I applied it to everything in life. And I was like, yeah, you better start respecting yourself and holding yourself to that standard. And what I'm noticing is a whole bunch of people right now struggling, like way below. By no means am I struggling at the moment. There's people who are making barely any money, 0, 5 grand, 3 grand, 2 grand, this, and they're all like, yeah, I'm going to go on holiday. I need the break, I need this, and I need that, and I'm going to go on holiday, and then I'm going to, revisit when I get back. I need to recharge. Now, here's the thing. I get it. I recharge every single day. After this video, I'm done. I'm going to recharge. I'm going to watch a movie with my kids, do something, this, that, and the other. But the people at the top, the people who've done all of this, the people who can now afford, I can definitely afford to go on holiday. I choose not to because there's certain things. My business is growing, expanding, we're scaling. There's a bunch of things that are happening. I need to be in place. I need to supervise. I need to be available for my team because I'm there to serve them. It shows me this consumer philosophy, this 9-to-5 philosophy of like, no, you need to take a vacation twice a year. You need to take a holiday twice a year. And now, why does this happen? You'd think people are attuned to that, and you might make the argument that I need a break, which is exactly the argument I made with Jerry. Here's the reality. He's like, man, every time things get hard, people want to run away. That is the definition of a coward. And our brain, or your brain or my brain, they tell us that, things are magically going to get better. When you come back, there's going to be a new perspective. There's going to be a fresh perspective. Let me take a break. Let me do this. Let me do that. And everyone has their everyone has their coping mechanisms, right? Defense mechanism, because no one likes feeling that hard. People resolve to drugs and Netflix and pornography and food and travel. And they're all escape mechanisms. And this is truly what I understood when I worked with Jerry. He was like, dude, you're running away. That's what makes you a coward, Yahya. Like, you're a brave man, whatever. And so I invite you, this is my call to action to you. I know I'm sharing something super personal. I know I'm sharing something that happened to me a long time ago. But every time, Jerry's not with us anymore. I wish he was. I wish I could reach out and I could thank him for teaching me this fantastic lesson that I've used across everything in my life and allowed me to do well, from whatever perceived measure there is, or at least in my eyes, doing well. It's definitely not about, how quickly you scale or how quickly you make the money or if something. It's about your ability to stick with something, see things through, close the loop. They say when the going gets tough, the tough get going. But when the going gets tough, if you get up and run away, oh, it's holiday time, oh, I need a break, I need to go on a retreat, I need to do this, that, blah, blah, blah. Nothing's going to happen. You're going to come back, you're going to be in a worse situation, your business is going to be worse. The stories you've been telling yourself about your dream and one day making it, blah, blah, none of that is going to happen. I've spoken to people who've spent 3 years dilly-dallying around and they just go from bad to worse. And so I'm not scaring you, and I don't mean to trigger you, and I'm not calling you a coward. That's what he called me. But it sure makes a lot of sense. Someone who runs away when things are tough that's a coward. A coward is someone who sees a threat, he can't handle the threat, he doesn't want to face the threat, runs away. Now, the threat doesn't need to be physical, it could be psychological, it could be a neurological threat. And this is the science of flow. If you know anything about high performance from a neurochemistry perspective, getting into flow requires an overload phase. It requires a phase of absorbing a lot of data, figuring things out, difficulty, trouble, familiarizing yourself with the law, and then you enter the problem-solving phase where everything begins to make sense. But when I coach on performance, a lot of people they don't have the guts to even get into flow. Forget about following through. And so, boys and girls, this is my call to action to you. If you're planning on running away and you're telling yourself a story, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my spouse is forcing me, my kids are forcing me, this, that, I have all of that. Been there, done that. Doesn't matter. Look deeper. Look deep within yourself. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell anybody else. Look deep within yourself and look at your life and look at yourself, transparently. Are you telling yourself a BS story so you can run away? Is your brain lacking dopamine because you've been working so hard and you haven't had a hit that your brain's like, whatever, we're running away? Or are you taking an actual break? And actual breaks are taken when things are good. I travel, I move around, I take a holiday when things are great, when things are on autopilot. That's what I teach my clients as well. Anybody who tries to go on vacation or holiday, when they start with me, I'm like, nope, for 3 months, we're consistently making money. And that is that, until you understand the process like the back of your hand, and then you can take a break. So I just wanted to share this with you. I love you with due respect. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.